it's YG Nyghtstorm. We're at the Faith and Freedom Dinner in Iowa. And I got some great people here. I got Ralph Reed, Doug Collins, Georgia representing.
That's right.
So brothers, in the house. So brothers, you know, how do you feel right now? We're in a wonderful, wonderful facility. Everybody in the world is here. So how do you guys feel right now?
I tell you, this is exciting now. You got that music playing in the background. You got people excited. You got people who love America, who want to see it best. I'm excited tonight to bring it out here. We're going to shuck some corn in Iowa tonight.
We're going to shuck some corn. All right, Ralph, how you feeling? Ralph, how you feeling?
I'm thrilled. I love coming to Iowa. I love the Hawkeye State. These are great people. We've got a tremendous organization here in Iowa, headed by my good friend Steve Scheffler, who's the Republican National Committee man. Senator Chuck Grassley is in the house. Governor Kim Reynolds is here. And from Georgia, our own Doug Collins. Great American.
Georgia's champion is here. So we're going to do some more filming. We're going to have some good eating, some good speaking, celebrating faith, celebrating freedom, celebrating America, and celebrating Georgia, how we get down in Iowa. God bless you. God bless America. And we're going to see you in a bit.
I know that I can, 'cause I know who I am. Since the day I was born, I am Nyghtstorm. I know that I can, 'cause I know who I am. Since the day I was born, I am Nyghtstorm.
My fellow Georgia brothers, I got Doug Collins in the house right there, Ralph Reed in the house. Y'all better come on. And on behalf of my godmother, Dr. Alveda King, I want to say greetings to you from the Peach State. And I'm going to say this one more time. If you love faith and freedom like I do, then somebody needs to be standing up right now and saying, yeah! Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this because, you know, the media is funny to me. I see a lot of things in the media, and I recently ran across a YouTube video of a member of the squad, and the young lady was saying, we don't need white folks not talking like white folks. We don't need black folks not talking like black folks. We don't need brown folks not talking like brown folks. And I look at my computer, I'm like, chick, what are you talking about? Now, I don't believe in segregation, I believe in unity. And just like, that's okay, go ahead. And just like my dear godmother, Dr. Alveda King, and her uncle, Martin Luther King Jr., they said one thing very, very simple, and it has lasted for decades. Do not judge a person by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So let me tell you why I love this country. And we're going to go way back to 1992. I know I'm dating myself, so to all the millennials, it's okay. But way back in 1992, I was a young man, and I was actually homeless and sleeping on the streets of Atlanta. I had been beaten up. I had been robbed. They had taken my shoes, they had taken my socks, and left me for dead on the street, on the sidewalk. And at that moment, because my relationship with my mom was not that great at the time, my relationship with dad was null and void, I honestly felt at that moment that God had forgotten me. And I was ready to give up the ghost. And I said, Father, if you want me to do something, then something needs to happen or I'll just sit here and die. So I closed my eyes and I gave up. But at that moment, I heard a car pull up next to me. And it had a nice sounding engine. And I opened my eyes and lo and behold, it was like a 1960s Rolls Royce. And a short little white man got out of the car, he was in his 70s, and he walked around, he was about this tall, and he walked around that car, and he saw me sleeping while laying on the street, on the sidewalk, and he said, young man, are you cold? And I'm like, okay, it's cold outside, I don't have any socks or shoes on, duh, yes, I'm cold. But he said, I noticed you don't have any shoes or socks on. And I said, I just been beat up and I just been robbed. And he said, well, I know how you feel. Now just imagine an 18-year-old kid, and I'm looking at this, let's talk with the squad, this white guy in a Rolls Royce, $400,000. What do you have in common with me, sir? You don't know anything about being broke, you don't know anything about being poor, but yet you talk about you understand. And he said, well, young man, let me correct you. 40 years ago in Chicago, I was homeless. I was beat up. Someone robbed me, someone took my shoes, someone took my socks. And then a black guy in a car pulled up, and he got out the car. And he walked around and he saw me laying on the sidewalk. And he saw that I didn't have on any socks and shoes. And what he did, he sat down next to me, he took off his shoes, and he had on a pair of Argyle socks. And he put those Argyle socks on my feet. And he said, embrace God and go make a difference. And I said, so what does that have to do with me? So he didn't say anything. He sat down next to me, he took off his shoes, and he had on a pair of Argyle socks. And he took those Argyle socks off his feet, and he put those Argyle socks on my feet. And he said, as sure as these socks cover your feet, God is going to cover your life. Embrace him and go make a difference. And I didn't understand what had just happened to me at that time, but he got in his car, he didn't say a word, and the Rolls Royce drove off. But moments later, and I get hot when I start talking about this, so forgive the perspiration. But at that moment, something ignited in me. And I no longer felt sorry for myself, and I said, I'm no longer a victim of my circumstances, and I decided to go to work. I had about 5 jobs, and I worked my behind off, and I went from sleeping on the streets of Atlanta to sleeping in a crack house when it rained. I didn't do the drugs, but I slept in a crack house when it rained. And then I worked a little bit harder, and I elevated to an apartment with rats and roaches. And then I worked a little bit harder and elevated to an apartment with just roaches. And then I elevated a little bit more, and then I elevated to an apartment with mold. And there was no roaches, there was no rats, but there's plenty of mold on the wall. But the fact of the matter is, I kept moving up. And eventually, I raised 7 children, traveled around this world, and I preached across our great nation. And I want to tell you this, the reason why I love this country so much is because anyone from any walk of life, black, white, Jew, Gentile, everything in between, you have the greatest chance of becoming the greatest version of yourself because we live in the greatest country of God's freedom. So, when the squad starts talking about all this race stuff, I go back to 1992 and I remember that man because he did not care about the color of my skin. He simply saw a young man who needed help. And I was able to pray and connect with other fellow Americans and build myself and make something proud of my 7 children to look at, because it was people like you. People who pray every day. People who see folks for who they are, as children of God and fellow citizens of our country. And guess what? Skin color ain't got nothing to do with it. So when I say I love America, and when I'm strutting around this country as that 6'2", 330-pound black brother with my black MAGA hat, I'm proud to say that I support President Trump, because guess what? That low unemployment, that's good for building business. And one thing else I like about Trump, he don't care. Honestly, he don't care. People can sit there and talk about him 365 days a year, 24/7. The squad would go hoarse before that man cares. So one last thing, because I know my time is short and I'm running out. But I want for everyone right now, one more time, please stand to your feet. Please stand to your feet. Because I want to say something. It is time for us as Christian Americans to draw a line in the sand and decide what we will stand for. Are we going to stand behind our president? Are we going to stand behind our God? Are we going to stand for our country? Are we going to stand for our children alive and in the womb? For each other? And if the answer is yes to all of these questions, I need you to look to the side to your fellow patriot and Christian, and I need you to tell them, I love you, and I stand with you. And y'all give them a hug right now. Now one more thing before I leave, one more thing, and I do this everywhere that I go and speak around the country. I like to do something that I call the power pose. And when I do the power pose, it's significant of strength, of faith, of strength of our country, and my kids like to see it happen. So if you don't mind, do you guys mind doing the power pose with me? All right, is everybody on this side? Y'all ready? I can't hear you. Y'all ready? On this side. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready? We are going in 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. And I want to tell you, I did not get to where I am by myself. I am in the love and support of black people, white people, Jew, Gentile, and everything in between. Our God loves us all, and we are going to love each other in the mighty name of Jesus.